Hey, so here's another training for you guys. It's Bing marketing training, and this is the basically part two of the course I paid $3,500 for. So this is more gold, more stuff that you can take and implicate and duplicate and pass on to your members as well to keep them engaged with you and all that good stuff. So what this is Bing marketing, okay, and it's not Google marketing or anything like that, because Google is just, it's too expensive nowadays. It's just way too expensive to market with Google, and no one really does it. Just those big huge companies like Coca-Cola and Walmart and stuff like that market with Google now because no one else can afford it, right? So Bing marketing it actually makes up about 20% of search engine rankings, right? Search engines, because what happens is Google is the rest of it, and you can see the pie chart there to my I think it's this way, maybe it depends what way the camera's pointing. I don't know, this way I think. The pie chart's there, and you can see it takes up about 11% Bing, and then another 10% or so, I believe, is Yahoo. So what ends up happening is you market with one, you market through Bing, and it's one agency, and it basically markets with about four other search engines too. So it works out to be about 20% or 25% of the search engine, the searches out there. Of course, Google is number one, of course, right? So, guys, this is another one. Just take this and run with it. It's I'm giving it to you for free. Pass this down to your downline inside LSN, Lead System Network. Once again, to keep them happy, keep them there, and keep those monthly residual income commissions coming into your bank account there. My name is Drew, and enjoy this training here. I'll be back with another training in probably about 1 or 2 weeks with a Facebook training for you guys. See you later. Bye bye.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, guys. John Morose here, and we have some extremely exciting training for you today. This is some of the same strategies that I personally use in my business to generate hundreds of leads every single day now. So my goal here is to actually have you generating leads by the end of this webinar. And if you actually apply these strategies, there's literally no limit to what you can do. So let's jump right into it. This is going to be all about how to dominate Bing PPC, enabling you to outrank your competitors at a quarter of the cost, and sometimes even less than that. And guys, I know that if you're this far and you're watching this video, it's more than likely that you've shown us that you've invested yourself and you have made a commitment to our team, and we truly appreciate that. And in return, we want to give away these secrets so that you can truly make something of your business. So we really want you to succeed here, and this training is no exception. I am literally going to be giving you some of my most coveted secrets in this training. So, like I said, apply what you learn, and there's no limit to what you can do here. Now again, guys, there is complete and total abundance in this industry. There's room for everyone. So when I talk about dominating your competition, it's not exactly what that means. I mean, if you're starting out with a very small budget, say for example you've got $50 that you want to spend for the week, there's a place for you. If you've got $5,000 that you want to spend for the month, there's a place for you as well. Think about that while I'm going through this. There's going to be specific keywords that you're absolutely not going to be able to bid on if you are brand new and have an extremely small budget. And then there's going to be keywords where other people with an extremely large budget are going to be advertised on. So again, there's a place for everybody. But starting small, you can continue to scale up, and you can literally start from zero and start generating 20, 30 leads a day, all the way up to hundreds and hundreds of leads. So it's going to be quite a ride. All right. Now, what you do with these leads once you finally get these leads coming into your autoresponder, what you're going to be doing is funneling these leads through a highly converting system, which is say for example a capture page, and then that your leads go into a follow-up campaign, which leads to your blogging platform, which leads to a sales page. We're going to be covering all this stuff. All right, so I like to get to the point. I want to take away all the fluff, the hype here. The last thing I like to do is actually stare at a PowerPoint presentation all the time when I'm learning. I actually like to see the click by click, and I want to know what's actually going on. So we're going to be doing that here in just a little bit. But first, what we're going to be covering here are the uncovered riches of Bing and Yahoo PPC. When I first got started in this industry, I was lucky enough to be around for the Google AdWords days, or I should say unlucky enough, because we had it so easy that when those days went away, we didn't know where to advertise. When it comes to Google AdWords nowadays, many of you know it's almost impossible to get your business on there. So this is going to be a great way to get you started through Bing, and once you learn some PPC strategies, it's in certain niches, it's possible for you to get back onto Google AdWords, and this should be a lot of help for you. As I discussed before, we're going to be covering some of my closely guarded secrets and how I outrank my competitors for a quarter of the cost. This is some really cool stuff, guys, and I'm going to be showing you the exact step-by-step point-and-click action steps that you're going to need to take to set all this up. So what you're going to need to make this all work for you is a lead capture page, a blogging platform, a sales funnel, and a product to sell. And luckily, if you are watching this video, then you've got all of them. As a member of our team, you have team capture pages, you've got prosperity capture pages, you've got Empower Network capture pages, and if you want, you can even create your own capture pages, and that's something that I personally like to do as well, just because I like to separate myself from the masses. If you're not comfortable doing that, I actually suggest that you don't do it because it's likely that your capture pages are not going to convert as well as our team capture pages. If you are comfortable with making videos and you know that your capture pages are converting well and you've tested them before, then go for it. It's just the last thing that I want you to do is to go out there and spend a lot of time creating your own capture pages and then spending money on pay-per-click only to find out that they're not going to convert and you just lost all that money. So what I suggest is using something that you know works, especially when you're dealing with paid traffic. And then once you know that it works, you can kind of tweak it to your own advantage, whatever you'd like to do, and move on from there. And next, you're going to want a blogging platform. It's not absolutely necessary, but I highly, highly, highly recommend it. You got a couple options there as well. You can use WordPress, or what I suggest if you're new, then you absolutely want to use Empower Network. And you can absolutely use both of them to kind of feed off of each other, and that's what I personally do. A sales funnel, which is an autoresponder, and a follow-up campaign. We've got both in place for you. You can use GVO or Pure Leverage or Aweber. I believe Prosperity Team mostly uses GVO. You can get that in your team training site. And then there's also options for you to load that autoresponder with your follow-up campaigns in the Prosperity Team section there. And then you need a product to sell, which obviously you've got all the Empower Network products, which can make you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you're all set when it comes to that. And we're going to be going through all this. It isn't specifically going to be in this order, but we're going to go through this here in just a little bit. All right, so once you have your system in place, it's time to open your PPC accounts. And what I mean by having your system in place, that just means that you've went and set everything up. You're in a position to earn money. You've got your affiliate account in place. You've got your Empower Network profile set up. You've got your Prosperity Team stuff set up. You're just all set up. Just make sure that that's all in place first. Once that's in place, then all you need to do is go to bingads.microsoft.com. Okay, so go ahead and write that down, and we're going to go there in just a little bit, but go ahead and write that down now, and then I'll go through a click by click and actually help you get it set up there. So when you create an account on Bing, you are displayed on all of their networks such as Yahoo and MSN in addition to Bing, which is really cool because again, when I got started here, you actually had to go and create advertising accounts with Yahoo and MSN and Microsoft and all these other networks. Well, luckily now all you do is you set it up in one place in Bing, and your ads are going to be displayed across all the major search engines like Yahoo and MSN. You won't be displayed on Google, because that's completely separate. And we're not really going to be discussing too much of Google in this training because, again, it's very, very difficult for people in our niche to get onto Google AdWords. But in the future, you can use these same strategies if you decide to, and you can absolutely use them for YouTube PPC as well, which is Google AdWords also. There's just a couple different strategies, and I'm actually going to be doing a whole separate training on YouTube pay-per-click because that is a little bit different, but the same strategies apply when it comes to creating ad groups and creating ads and stuff like that, which we're going to be covering in just a little bit. Alright, so successful PPC really boils down to a few essential things, and that comes down to number one, finding high quality targeted keywords to place ads on. So once you've got your targeted keywords and URLs and you've got all that in place, one of the most important things is that you need to ensure that you're getting high click-through rates on your ads. A good way to explain this, I guess, is search engines like Yahoo and Bing and Google, their ultimate goal is to end search. So that means when a user, like myself, say for example, goes to Bing and we type in a keyword, something that we're searching for, Bing's goal there is to end search, which means when that user, myself, types in a keyword, what I want to find, that number one result that appears. If I like what it says right there, the ad, to get me to click through to the website, if I like what that says and I click on that, and there is incredibly good content on the next page, that is the goal of Bing, to end search, because I found everything I needed right there at the number one search result, right? So if you can get your ads to get clicked on, which means you have to write high quality copy to get people to click on those ads, and then you have great content that keeps people on that page for longer than, say, 30 seconds or 45 seconds or a minute, well, Yahoo, Bing, YouTube, or not YouTube, well, I think YouTube does as well. Well, actually, I know YouTube does as well. YouTube, Yahoo, Bing, all these major search engines, they measure all of this. They measure how long you're on a website. They measure how many times specific ads are clicked on, and the same goes for search engine optimization. So, when you think about why certain people get ranked higher on the search engines, this is what it's coming down to. It's coming down to click-through rates and the content that is on the other side of the ad. So hopefully all that makes sense, and I'm going to explain this in greater detail because this is some of my secrets on how I'm able to get lower cost ads for higher positioning. Okay, so that's very, very important. So think about that. You might even want to write it down. High click-through rates are essential. Next up, creating or using a highly converting capture page that converts your traffic into a solid 8 to 20% or higher is also very important. There's a couple different ways that you can place ads on, Bing, for example. You can send your content or send your searcher straight to a capture page to send them to your sales funnel, which is something that I used to do a lot of. But what I've come to find out here recently, my ads have been converting much higher when I actually send them right to like a blog post with better content. But I still use the capture page on the back end. So what I might do is have an ad that goes to a blog post, and then that blog post has great content relevant to what the user was searching for, and then that blog post redirects them to a capture page. And what I found there is the capture page converts, instead of 8 to 20%, I'm getting 50 to 65% conversions, which are extremely high. And I'll show you exactly how I do that here in just a little bit as well. So again, once somebody opts into your capture page, the last thing you're going to do is, that's now considered a lead after they opt in. You're going to be running them through a highly converting sales funnel or sales process, a follow-up campaign, that ultimately will convert into sales and commissions for your business. So now, what do you actually bid on when you're going into Bing here, for example, and you're placing ads and doing all this? What is it that you're placing your bids on? And that really comes down to domains and keywords. And it's kind of crazy about domains. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about this, because a lot of people just bid on keywords where marketers don't even think to advertise on domains. So say, for example, if somebody were to go to Bing and type in, or they're searching for Apple, a lot of people actually go into Bing and type in apple.com, and this is the actual URL right here. If you're brand new and you don't know what a URL is, I'm sure by now, if you're watching this video, you absolutely do, but this is the URL. So say, for example, if you were placing an ad for Apple, which I don't suggest doing, because that's probably going to cost you a fortune, and there's probably copyright restrictions on that. But you would use the keyword Apple, and then also the domain or the URL of apple.com as well. So bidding on URLs of popular related websites is very powerful for several reasons. There's not as many people, not as many marketers out there thinking about URLs as keywords, as I was just explaining. They might think of a company name or product, say, for example, Herbalife. So they might actually, you bid on the keyword Herbalife, or bid on some of the products that Herbalife might carry. But oftentimes this leads to less competition, cheaper cost per click, and the same quality of traffic. Now, you might not get as much traffic, but you're going to get the same quality of traffic. So what's even better, there are constantly new websites popping up all over the internet that get traffic, which equates to a never-ending amount of cheap targeted advertising that you can do. The world is yours. So there is always, always, always new websites popping up that you can always bid on when it comes to the domains or URLs. So let me clarify. This is kind of like what I was just talking about before, but imagine you are bidding on the company name Herbalife to advertise your business in front of people who are researching Herbalife. That should actually say Herbalife, not Amway. So the cost per click for that keyword would be substantially higher than bidding on Herbalife's URL. So instead, you bid on the keyword Herbalife.com, which will have less search traffic but less competition, which means it will be much cheaper. So here you can obviously see this is supposed to be Herbalife, not Amway. But let me actually take you into Bing, for example, and show you what I mean. So if we go to Herbalife, you can see here that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ads, all this stuff right here, right? And so that means if you were to place an ad on Herbalife, most likely you're going to be spending $1, $1.20 per click, something like that, to advertise on this keyword. So you might even be asking, why would you advertise for keyword Herbalife if you're not in Herbalife? Well, this is a great way to give reviews on Herbalife and then redirect these potential Herbalife affiliates to your organization and Power Network, for example. Now what happens if we do Herbalife.com? Look what happens here. You can see all of the ads just disappeared. So what might have costed you $1.20, $1.50 on the keyword Herbalife, just by putting the .com behind it, you might spend 30 cents instead of $1.50, because there still are 3 competitors up here, which is substantially less. But this is a great example of what I'm talking about. Now I'll dive a little bit more deeper into that in just a second, but I wanted to clarify what I was talking about there. All right. So a couple places that you can pick up URLs and keywords. Now you're probably going to want to write this down, and I'll do a click-by-click one here real quick. But one of the most powerful places that you can pick up keywords is ClickBank. And you can go into the marketplace there, and I'll show you a great place where you can compile some key URLs and keywords there. You also want to check out MLMrankings.com, NPros, and some other CPA networks, Commission Junction, for example, Pay.com, and as always, scale up. Very important. So just by placing 1 or 2 ads on, say, a URL from ClickBank, it's probably going to be very, very minimal results. So what I might recommend is just continuing to compile lists of URLs and continuing to place ads, which can take some time. But again, think about it. Once you've actually placed these ads, this is automated. I mean, I am literally making sales and commissions from ads that I have placed over a year and a half ago, and I haven't touched them. Now, it might have taken me 2 or 3 days to get all of these keywords and everything compiled, but I'd say 2 or 3 days of work to make, literally $50, $60, $70,000 over the course of a year for that small list of keywords was well worth my time for those two days in setting it all up. Wouldn't you agree? All right, so let me kind of give you an example of some of these websites here. So first, let's go over to ClickBank. If you don't have an account with ClickBank, what this is if you don't know, it's one of the, or if not the biggest affiliate network on the planet and online. So go ahead and just create an account here. It's 100% free, and then you can just go ahead and log in. And once you log into ClickBank, all you're going to do is click on Marketplace at the top. So once you're inside ClickBank, just click on Marketplace. And here is a place where you can find out, again, what ClickBank is people who create products will put their products online at ClickBank. And then affiliates like myself might come on ClickBank and decide to market a product that a user has placed on this network. So once you're here, again, just click on ClickBank, click on Marketplace, and then come down to Business and Investing, and then you want to go down to Small Business and Entrepreneurship. All right, and here you can see there's a whole bunch of places that are just going to tell you exactly. They're going to give you URLs that you can place ads on. Now this is not what this is meant for. You're actually supposed to actually go out there and market this person's product, but why not place an ad on it and convert that traffic into traffic for your own business? So here's an example. Let's look at the first one. Jim Morgan's Wood Profits. So here's how an amateur carpenter made a whopping $10,000 per month by selling easy-to-build woodworking furniture and crafts from home. All right, so good example right there, woodprofits.com. There's a keyword, okay? So you can go over to Bing, and we'll put in this URL, and you could see that there are 2 competitors. So you're probably going to pay maybe 15 to 20 cents per click for this keyword. Okay, so what we would do here is we would just go down in Notepad and place that URL right there. Okay, so that's one. Let's go ahead and close this out. Look at office cleaning business, freight broker profits. I don't know. Become a freight broker. No, I go to freight brokers. Okay, great. Freightbrokerbootcamp.com. There's another keyword. Okay. Or URL, and we'll just place this right here. We'll do just one more. Alright, let's go down to Bootcamp Game Day, Life Coaching Certification, Farming Guide. What I'm doing here is I'm just looking for anything kind of related to our niche, which is kind of like the make money online home business niche. You know what I mean? Huge profits cleaning foreclosures for the banks. Alright, started foreclosure cleanup or property preservation company. Alright, so here's another URL for it right there. So that's one place you can go through and pick up URLs. Now there are literally hundreds of pages here. I just look for anything related to making money online, and that's a great resource, ClickBank. Okay. Another one might be NPros, and this is more towards our niche. And if you come to NPros, what this is it's kind of like all the top network marketing companies that are out right now. Rippling is huge. Look at these guys up here, so you might know who these guys are. Ripplin's is a great one, okay? So that's one keyword that you can think of. Go over to Bing. Type in Ripplin. Guys, this is gold right here. I mean, this is a huge, huge keyword. And if you look at that, Ripplin.com, yeah, this is gold right there. I mean, there's a little bit of competition, but that keyword is so big, it's going to be worthwhile. And then, let's see, for example, Lioness is another company. These are more network marketing companies. So if you click enter here, okay, you can see Linus.net, but you've only got, actually these really, 2 ads, so you might be paying, I don't know, maybe 30 cents per click. And if you put Linus.net, there's no competitors, nobody here, you know? So this is a 5 cents per click keyword right there. That's free leads pretty much, guys. Alright, so that's another example. npros.com kind of tells you all of the new network marketing companies. Pure Levers is another one right there that might have. I'm just kind of interested to see how many advertisers are here. It's, you know, a couple, but not many. So let's look at pureleverage.com. And there you go. You've got 1, 2, 3 people advertising. Again, this is about a 30 cents per click ad. And I know that there are a lot of people interested in this keyword right now as I'm making this video. If you're watching this 2 years down the road, you probably want to go back to this website and see what's hot at that time. Another one that's really good is MLMrankings.com. And again, guys, here what we're doing is we're just compiling keywords and URLs for you to go after. This one, MLM Rankings, is much like NPros, and look, these guys are all over the place, as you see. So what you're doing here is pretty much the same thing. What I would do is probably go down to view the top MLM performers, and here you go. You can see Tomboy Tools. I never even heard of this one. Let's look at EPX Body though. That sounds like something they would probably do well. Yeah, see, there's a lot of ads here. So what we're gonna do is just put a .com behind it, and there you go. It went from 10 ads down to 2 ads. So again, guys, this is about a 25 cent to 30 cent click. You get the idea. So here's again the list. If you want to write this down, that's clickbank.com, and then what you want to do is go to the marketplace, and then go to business and investing, small biz and entrepreneurship, and then you want to compile a list. And again, guys, you can look around. What we're looking for again is anything related to our niche. So that's really anything related to making money on the internet or network marketing, MLM, anything like that. And that's where MLM Rankings and NPros come in. Again, there's tons and tons of other places you can look for. Just look for anything related to our niche. Another things that you can be looking for would be forums, which would be great. So tons and tons of places. You should never, ever, ever have a question of where you're going to get your keywords so that you can place ads on them. Make sense? And continue to scale that up. So that's all you're doing. Alright, so another amazing places to build your list of keywords and URLs also include top ranked websites in the search engines under related keywords. So say for example you go and type in some of the keywords that we had just discovered, and you continue to see specific websites that are either in the search engines or from SEO or are also advertising in PPC. So if you see a website that's showing up all over the place, that you know that's getting a lot of traffic, I would also copy that domain down and use that domain as a keyword as well. Make sense? So you're also going to be wanting to look up popular authors, products, courses, communities, forums, you name it. So what I might be thinking here is, Think and Grow Rich, for example. So you would look up the author of that book, Napoleon Hill. Products. So if there's, the 15K formula is another keyword. Courses, same deal. 15K formula. You could be going Herbalife products, specific products from Amway. Courses that are online by some of the gurus. David Wood, Jonathan Budd, Mike Dillard, Dagan Smith, Matt Lloyd. All these guys are keywords. And again, guys, when I say these names, please remember to stay positive. You should kind of think of our industry as almost like a family. I see some negative advertising out there every once in a while on people's names. It's such a shame too, because the guys who are being negative in these ads are the guys that you will never see at an event. They will never have gained the respect from their peers. So what I say is just stay positive in your advertising, and always, if you're going to use another leader's name in your advertising, make sure that you're positive and give them kind of credit. For example, you might use Jonathan Budd as a keyword. Well, then in your ad, it should say Jonathan Budd is awesome. Learn some of the secrets that I learned when I took his course. It's just something off the top of my head, but that might be an ad that you would place. Something like that, rather than saying, something negative about Jonathan Budd. Okay? It's if it's big and if it's related to our niche and it has a URL, it's fair game. So the home base. This is a huge one, guys. So if you go out to Barnes and Nobles, for example, just pick up a home-based business magazine offline, not online. So actually go to Barnes and Nobles, get the business magazine, and look at the people who are advertising. That magazine gets so much traffic, and the people who advertise in there are literally placing ads for $5,000 to $10,000. They're getting tons and tons of traffic, and what's happening here is people are going to those websites, and then they're going back to the search engines like Bing, and they're typing in those URLs or typing in those keywords. More specifically, the URLs in there, like they might type in the URL and then type in the keyword scam with a question mark after it, because they want to make sure that everything's legit. Well, that's when you can go in there and soak up all that traffic. So while they're paying $5,000 to $10,000, you're paying 15 cents per click, guys. That's a huge, huge strategy right there. So again, stay positive in your marketing, provide value. Make sure that you're giving the searcher what they're looking for. So you want good content there. All right, make sense? All right, so let's get into it. Let's do some click by click and show you what I mean here. All right, let me get over here, and I'm actually going to walk you through a complete setup. Now, I'm not going to show you how to set up your Bing advertising dashboard, because literally this changes every month. So I could go in here and show you how to fill out your profile and put in your billing details, and next month it's going to be completely different. But guys, all you have to remember to do is just go to bingads.microsoft.com, and I'm logged in right now. So actually, I've got two screens over here. You're not going to be able to see this, but let me just check something out on my side. Okay, cool. So you would go to bingads.microsoft.com and just sign up. And all you're going to do is just fill out your details. It actually walks you through the whole process. I think it even has a wizard on how to get your first ad set up. Okay, so when I set this up, we've actually compiled a list of URLs. However, what I want to do is give you an example of something that I've actually just created a blog post on. So I found a URL that I know that a lot of traffic is going to right now, okay? And I know that there's not a lot of competition. So I'm actually going to show you what I would normally be doing here was actually be creating a blog post on one of these keywords. Now you can decide to just go place an ad on a keyword like, say for example, pureleverage.com, and then write a relevant ad to that keyword and just send them straight to a capture page. However, that, in my opinion, is doing a little bit of cheating. You could get some good traffic there, But if you want an incredibly high click-through rate, what I recommend is to use your Empower Network blog and actually create good content on that specific keyword. So for example, if you're going to create one on pure leverage, what you might actually do, let's go and check out the competition for pure leverage. So let's go to Bing.com, and if I actually type in pure leverage, you're going to see that I've got, you got probably three people advertising for that. Let's check out pure leverage. Am I spelling this wrong? Okay. Pureleverage.com. Okay, so you've got a little less people advertising it. Let's look at GVO. Even less. And GVO.com. That would be GoGVO.com actually. GoGVO.com. Let's try that again, because these are pretty much the same. Alright, so there's not a lot of competition here, so I'm actually going to set up a ad for this keyword. We're going to start with this one, okay? And what I've actually done is I've went and created a blog post all about pure leverage and GVO. So let's look at that blog post. And you can do this on your Empower Network blog. I just did this on my personal WordPress blog, and I actually have a very similar one on my Empower Network blog that is connected to this blog post for SEO reasons. That's a whole nother topic there. But here is actually my blog post that I created all about pure leverage and GVO. Okay, so as you can see here, what I've got is a lot of great content on pure leverage and GVO. So what I'm asking, is it worth all the hype? And it's inside a review. Now there's a couple quick pointers here that I'm going to go over. But what some of the most common key terms that people search for are, when they're doing their research, is they use the following keywords: review, and you can go ahead and write this down. Actually, I've made this on the PowerPoint presentation. It's scam, review, bonus, and comp plan. Okay, especially if they're related in our niche. So this is how I get some of the highest click-through rates in the industry, is because when I write my content, I try to include those keywords within the article somewhere. So it might be review, might be scam, might be whatever it might be, and then I include that in my content so that when I create a paid ad for it, that it'll rank higher. So let's get into some of the details here. So I'm going to go to here, and I'm going to go to campaigns in Bing, and once you've got everything set up or whatever, I'm just going to create a campaign. Okay, and where it says campaign number, I'm just going to say pure leverage GVO. And remember here that when you set up your Bing account, it's likely going to take you through the process that's very similar to this. If it does not, because it can change all the time, it's going to be very similar. You're just going to want to go to campaigns and then create a campaign. From there, just select the time zone, which would be Eastern time zone. Let's see if I can find that. Eastern time right there. Campaign budget. What I like to do is start it out at $50 a day. But in this case, because this is a smaller keyword, I'm just going to start this one at $25. Then I'm going to check back up on it tomorrow. Suspend your budget evenly throughout the day. So what language do I want my customers? Is English. Locations, I want them to be into the United States, and I would like Canada as well. Alright, and you can actually even go further into other countries, but I highly just recommend English-speaking countries. Text ad. Let's stay with the text and then the ad title. Okay, so here's what I'm going to get back into again. You're going to have a main, scam, review, bonus, and comp plan. I usually like to spend a good amount of time on my ads. But in this case, I don't have that luxury. So let's just kind of run through this, and I'll give you the reason afterwards. So the ad title. Okay, guys. So what I've just done here is set up an ad for Pure Leverage, and this is just my very generic ad, because what we're going to do after this is set up an ad group, which will target more down into the very specific keywords that we're going to go after. However, this is just something I did very quickly, and this is what my ad will actually look like. It'll say Pure Leverage Exposed, and then I'll actually have my display URL, which is johnmorose.com Pure Leverage, and then don't join till you see this. Insider reveals why Pure Leverage is. And the reason why I do this, and you can kind of bounce around on the internet and kind of look at the way that people format their ads, but what I kind of like to do is leave them hanging. Insider review reveals why Pure Leverage is what, so they actually have to click it to find out why. Another thing that is very cool that I found out is that you want to use your keyword in the ad text as many times as you can. So you'll see that my keyword is obviously going to be Pure Leverage. So I've got my keyword here, here, and here. So I've got it 3 times in the ad text. What that does is when somebody types in Pure Leverage, everything that they typed in is going to be bolded if that's the keyword. So if they typed in Pure Leverage, then this is going to be bold, this is going to be bold, and this is going to be bold, which brings the reader's eyes to that ad a little bit more. Your display URL is what you want the reader to see, the visitor, the searcher to see, which is going to be right here. Your destination URL, however, is not the same. I actually want them to go right here. So johnmorose.com/members, Pure Leverage, my insider review, right? And here's all this great content that I'm talking about Pure Leverage and GVO. Now, Bing and Yahoo, well actually Bing I should say, since we're advertising here with Bing, they actually have little bots that go down and read this content or scan this content. And if it doesn't have anything to do with Pure Leverage and GVO, then you're going to get a low quality score, which means you're going to be ranked lower in the search results, right? So if I actually type in Pure Leverage again here, you can kind of see, once I was talking about here, you can see this is bolded, 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 right? So this guy kind of knows what he's doing, and he's got a bonus page. So you want to check out your competitors. This one's sending you right to a capture page. More than likely, it's not going to get the highest click-through rates, where this guy has got a Pure Leverage bonus, and he's ranked #1, probably because he's sending you to a bonus page that has a lot of great content of bonuses that he's going to give you, right? Makes sense. So that guy's #1. Well, probably not for long, because I've actually got a better page with more content, with more bonuses that I'm going to send people to, right? So that's the the display URL. We talked about bolding, and here's the destination URL, which I just talked about. Okay. So now this is just my main ad. So here I'm really just going to add like one keyword, which is going to be Pure Leverage. And now I'm going to go back into this campaign, and I'm going to create an ad group in just a minute here. So I'm just going to start off with this one. I want this to be exact, phrase, and broad. Okay. Ad group bid. You know what? Let's keep this. This is going to be how much you want to spend. Let's keep this, because there's not a lot of competition here for that keyword. Let's see. Yeah, this is the way that you can kind of look at it. You see that you've got 4 competitors. I'm going to try and start off at 30 cents, and again, we're going to come back tomorrow and take a look at it and see how it's doing. But how this works is, say for example, broad, exact, and phrase. What this means is every time somebody types in Pure Leverage into Bing, it could say, is Pure Leverage a scam? Well, that's a broad match, okay? Exact means they have to type in Pure Leverage exactly how it is and nothing for it or nothing back. And if they type in anything else besides Pure Leverage, then it's not going to display. Phrase would mean that it has to have these terms, these words in the exact phrase, whereas in broad it could say leverage. The words can be in different order. So I actually might even just take the broad and just keep exact in phrase. And then I'm going to bid 30 cents for each of these. And I'm going to check back in on them tomorrow. And if I'm looking like I'm not ranking really well, then I'm going to increase my bid. And if I'm ranking too well, then I'm going to decrease my bid. So if I'm already number one with this keyword, well, I'm gonna go down to 20 cents to see if I can do it that way. Okay, makes sense? So this is just the very first ad that I set up. Now let's dig in deeper and get more targeted. So once the ad is set up, let's go down. Let's go down to, we're going to look back here at the Pure Leverage campaign, and what we're going to do is go to Ad Groups. Okay? So let's go ahead and edit this ad group, and we're going to call this one the main ad group. And that is the one that we just set up. Okay? We're going to save that ad group, and if we actually click here, you should see that your ads for that main ad is right here. So what I also recommend doing for that main ad group is setting up an additional ad. So what you're doing is you're setting up what's called an A/B split testing. So if you've got this Pure Leverage exposed, for example, you might create one more ad, and what's going to happen here is Bing is going to continuously rotate those two ads that you have, and whatever gets the higher click-through rate, they're going to keep on that one. Okay, and you can come back in later and delete it. The badly converting ad. Make sense? Just for time reasons here, I'm not going to go ahead and create a secondary ad, but all you have to do that is just click on Create an Ad. So let's go back into keywords again here. And what you're going to want to do here for the main ad group is only contain keywords that are related to Pure Leverage. So, and again here, let me kind of back up a little bit. We're also going to create ad groups on scam, review, bonus, and comp plan. But what you want to do here for the main group is just create the keywords that are just targeted around Pure Leverage alone. So not Pure Leverage scam, not Pure Leverage review, because we're going to create another one for that in just a second. So let's go ahead and add more keywords. So to do that, we just click on Add Keywords, and we'll type in, say for example, pureleverage.com. We're going to type in www.pureleverage.com. Type in http://pureleverage.com, and then we might go in here and look at, we've already got the keyword Pure Leverage just like this. So if we actually go, this is just another way that you can look at additional or find additional keywords for your. Okay, so let's go ahead and add. And by the way, guys, what I'm doing here is I'm just finding additional keywords. So what I just typed in is AdWords keyword tool into Google. And this is a free thing. So what I'm just doing here is looking up things that are just based totally around the keyword on Pure Leverage. So we're looking at Pure Leverage System. That's another one right there. Another one that I might do is Pure Leverage Login. Pure Leverage, well, Login's probably a bad one because by that point they're probably already a member. Pure Leverage Autoresponder, Joel Theron. So let's do that. So let's go back and add these keywords. And we'll just do one more for now. Just because I think you get the point. All we're doing here is we're just looking for keywords that are related to the main keyword of pure leverage. Again, we're going to leave out all the additional ones like review and stuff like that. And what we'll do is we'll just add these keywords and then set them to exact and phrase, and take away broad. And we'll do exact and phrase, take away broad, do exact and phrase, take away broad, exact and phrase, take away broad, and lastly exact and phrase and take away broad. Okay, we're going to keep these all at about 30 cents, and we've got our keywords just for the main one. Okay, from there we're just going to go ahead and apply. And then now what we do, or now what we have is we have our main ad group, just our main one, which is just these keywords, just for the main, all running. And now what we'll do is we're going to set up a secondary ad group. So we're going to go back to campaigns, and we're going to select ad group. Campaigns, we're going to select pure leverage and GPO. And then we're going to select create an ad group, and let's go ahead and call this one scam. English, locations, text ads. So what we're going to do here is say pure leverage scam, and I'll go ahead and create this, and I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, so I've just set up this ad for scam. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would you create a whole nother ad group just for the keyword scam? Well, a lot of the times people in our industry, like I was saying before, they type in the keyword. So say, for example, pure leverage or GVO, and then right after the keyword, they're going to type in scam, or they're going to type in review. Well, if you're able to go out and get a higher click-through rate by targeting people who are typing specific keywords, very targeted keywords, long tail keywords, into the search engines. Say, for example, somebody who types in pure leverage might already know what pure leverage is. They're just looking for the right person to purchase from, right? However, somebody that types in pure leverage scam might be at the very early phases of the buying process and are probably looking for something negative, right? So if you have an ad that's totally about pure leverage, and then you have another ad when somebody types in pure leverage scam, well, you're going to get a higher click-through rate on both of those. So if you have one that says pure leverage review, and you write an ad about a pure leverage review, then that's very targeted to what that searcher is looking for. Then you have another ad that's all about pure leverage scam. That's going to be very targeted for what that person looking for. So for example, if I typed in pure leverage scam and I saw this ad right here, pure leverage scam, wait, it's very likely that I'm going to click on this ad rather than if I just typed in, pure leverage and then this ad came up. I might bypass this because I already know that pure leverage is not a scam. Does it make sense? So what I'm doing here is I'm just doing exactly what the searcher wants. I am creating an ad to end search. Make sense? So now in this area, you can kind of see that I've typed in pure leverage scam. Don't join until you've seen this. This video reveals why many are, and I leave them hanging, so they got to click it, right? Then I've got my keyword a couple times in there. So I've got this is going to be bold, pure leverage scam. And then this right here is going to be bold, pure leverage scam, because it's all right there, okay? And then now what I'm going to type in here is pure leverage scam, pure leverage, here's what I'll do. Complaints. I can't spell today, I'm getting a little tired here. Pure leverage problems. Let's see if there's any other keywords here real quick. Okay, so now that I've compiled my keyword list, as you can see, I'm just doing everything totally and only related to scam. So I've got scam, complaints, problems, issues, and then maybe just put the keywords together like pureleverage.com scam. And what I might even do here is do pureleverage.com scam. And then here I'm just going to leave these keywords as broad because it's actually seeing how much this is going to be. First page bid, 8 cents, 14 cents. It pretty much already has it set for you. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and save this. So now you can kind of see that I have got two different sets of ad groups. One is a main, one is a scam, and I'll just continue to do this for review and bonuses, etc., etc. And the reason, again, that I do this is because I want to have an ad very specific to what the searcher is searching for. So if somebody types in pure leverage scam, they're going to get my pure leverage scam ad. If somebody types in just pure leverage, they're going to get my pure leverage main ad. And the reason why I do this, again, is because I want the highest click-through rates. And if I can create content, great content, that when somebody lands on this page and they see it's all about pure leverage and GVO, well, it's very likely that they're going to read this content, and then once they do, they can click on the Get Access Now button, which will send them to a capture page or a sales page that puts them into a sales funnel. Make sense? And again, this is the reason why I do this. As I have the very good content just to make sure that I get the highest click-through rate. I make sure that they have everything that they need here. My whole goal is to end search, and then once they have got everything that they need, then they can click on here, which will lead them to a capture page. And I've always seen that my conversions are much, much higher because I've kind of gained trust already. I've given this reader a lot to take in, and by this point I've built a relationship with them so that when they click on the following link, they're going to get a capture page and put their email address in. I'll also include some bonuses and stuff like that as well. Alright, so that's really how you set up your ads within Bing, and this is the reason why I go, and I'll take some extra time to do this up front, because once it's done, it's literally in place for years to come. So it might take me 2 days sometimes to set this up and do all the keywords and all that kind of stuff with the URLs, and then everything based on the ad groups. But that's really what you want to be focused on mostly, is just setting up the campaign and then adding an ad group, whatever, and then targeting down those keywords, those long tail keywords. And then that's it. I mean, this is a win-win. Every time I go after a keyword, I always dominate that keyword for this reason. I'm talking about pure leverage GVO here. I recommend going after different keywords, obviously. There's literally no limit to what you can do. Rippling is an incredible keyword that you might want to go after. Alliance, XP, I mean, there's just so many ways and so many places that you can gain keywords. Look for some out there that really don't have any competition, and just start out spending 5 or 10 cents per click just to kind of get your feet wet and start to see some leads come in. Once you start to see a couple leads come in, then you can expand and scale up, and then there's literally no limit to what you can do. And just remember, guys, I did the example here on pure leverage and GVO. Obviously, you're going to be marketing Empower Network, Prosperity Team, whatever it might be. This is just an example of one of the many ways that you can set up your your keywords. So again, you go in there, find your keywords, find the URLs, and then place ads on those keywords and URLs. And if you'd like, create some great content around those keywords and URLs, and then redirect that traffic back to your Empower Network capture page, your Prosperity Team capture page. Let me give you one good example of this. If I go to my personaljohnmorose.com blog, which I call my affiliate blog because it's in my personal blog. My personal blog is just at johnmorose.com. Now, here's the thing, though. I am not an affiliate of Gano XL. I'm not a rep for Gano XL. However, I did a article on GanoXL so that I could place ads on it, so that I would show up in the search engines. I created great content on GanoXL. Again, my whole goal here was to end search, but at the very end, I just said, failure. Here's a great example. I just redirected my traffic to a capture page. So failure with GanoXL or any other opportunity is rarely about the company. Most people just follow whatever their upline tells them. This is acceptable if your upline has the experience and training necessary to lead you properly. You'll need a successful marketing plan, a blueprint for success, if you will. In contrast to what most people believe, you can connect with an endless amount of leads in a day. The key is gathering targeted leads. This is where internet marketing comes into the picture. If you'd like to learn how to successfully market your GanoXL business or any business online, gain access to my free online video training series by clicking the button below. And when they click here, that goes to a capture page that puts them in my sales funnel that in turn, or in the end, puts them into Empower Network. So if I click here, great example, it's going to go right to a capture page, and I've even tagged it GanoXL so I know where they're coming from. And once they put their name and email in, this is going to eventually put them right into Empower Network. So hopefully that makes all sense. In the beginning, it's just creating great content, end search. You're going to place an ad to lead to that blog post, and then that blog post leads to your sales funnel, your capture page, which leads to your sales funnel. Okay, so lastly, let's jump right back on over to the presentation. Here's a couple helpful hints. You are going to want to have a privacy policy on your landing or capture page. This is something that I didn't really even know about when I first got started with Bing and Yahoo, and I made it for maybe about a month or so, and then I got shut down, and they weren't clear on why they shut me down. Well, come to find out, it was my privacy policy. So what you might even want to do here is go to one of my websites. Let's look at my Pure Leverage website here. And what I always do is I right underneath my opt-in box, even though this isn't for Pure Leverage, this opt-in box, I have a privacy policy right underneath of it. Feel free to copy this. It's better if you don't do everything word for word, but feel free to get an idea from this, and then you can create your own privacy policy. If you're using something like the Prosperity Team or Empower Network, it's very likely that they already have a link of a privacy policy there. But Bing wants you to have your privacy policy anywhere under wherever there's a form at. Okay, so that should help you when you're first getting started there. As I mentioned before, you definitely want to watch your ads, keywords, and clicks closely for the first 24 to 72 hours. You can end up spending a lot of money there if you don't pay attention to it. So come back within the first day or two and test out your market, see how things are going. Many of your different keywords are going to convert differently than others. You're going to have a lot of winners, you're going to have a lot of losers. So be sure to go back and check out and see what is converting. It'll tell you in the back offices of your Bing account how many clicks you're getting on each keyword. Check on, you're going to see that you're going to have some good keywords. You might want to spend some more money on those keywords if it's converting well. And then you're going to have some keywords that nobody's really even searching for. I'm sure that I probably just typed in, a good 10 or 15 keywords in there that probably won't get any clicks. So after a little while, maybe in the next 24 or 48 hours, I'll go back in there and I'll delete those keywords. You may need to increase your bids, and some can even come down. I think I talked about this a little bit earlier. But say, for example, if I am advertising on the keyword Pure Leverage for 30 cents, and I go back the next day and I see that I'm in the 4th place position, well, I'm not happy with that. So I'm probably going to bring it up to 45 cents and see if I can take over that 1st place position. And I'll continue to do so until I rank number 1. That's why it's always a good idea to go out and look for other keywords, because you don't want to be advertising with somebody who's got a big budget. Like, say, for example, if you're advertising on the keyword Empower Network, or you're advertising on the keyword Herbalife, and you've got people who are willing to spend $1.50 per click, and you're spending 15 cents, well, it's likely that you're going to be pushed way down in the search results, which aren't going to be effective. So you might want to go and look for some of those other URLs and keywords, as I was explaining previously. You want to spend more money on the keywords that are producing well, as I talked about. Get rid of the keywords that are not producing. And remember that about 80% of your business is going to come from 20% of your keywords. That's pretty much a rule of thumb across all business, is 80-20 rule. So just realize that, that there are going to be some losers out there. But there's going to be, some of that 20% right there that are going to produce 80% of your results. Be sure that you're always split testing. As I discussed before, I actually didn't do a split test, but it's very easy. You just want to go in there and create a second or a third ad. You'd be amazed at some of the things that I really think are going to convert amazingly well, and then I just create, in my opinion, a crappy ad right afterwards, and that crappy ad converts like 30% or 50% higher than what I thought was going to be, the highest converting ad. So go in there and just create additional ads. You'd be amazed at what converts. So that's very important. Make sure that you're running more than one ad, in your ad section. That's so important. I want to talk about that for just a second. When you go here again, just click on ads, and for your main example, all you're going to do is just click here for main, and then once you're in your ad group, you're just going to click on create an ad, so that you'll have a whole secondary ad right there. And they're just going to rotate your ad. That's it. Okay? So just make sure you're doing that. That's very important. And where are we at here? Yep, make sure that you have a very strong follow-up campaign in place. So that's, say for example, we're advertising in Power Network. You've got the Prosperity Team follow-up campaigns in your Prosperity Team system. I've got follow-up campaigns in my system. Just make sure that you're using something that converts. Be sure to build a relationship with all of your leads through weekly emails and communications. So always try to provide value. I mean, there's a good saying that I kind of live my life by and kind of run my business by, is the amount that you earn in this industry is directly equivalent to the amount of value that you provide. So always think about that when you're communicating with your list. Just think about what can you do to truly serve your subscribers. And when you think about putting those people first, you'll be amazed at what comes back for you. Okay? I like to always say, instead of what can I do to earn commissions today, I say what can I do to serve others today. And when I do that, the commissions always follow. All right? Another very, very important thing here is once you start enrolling people and you start to see your list is starting to be developed, there's going to be plenty of leaders that pop out. Make sure that you connect with your leaders first and foremost. There's going to also be a ton of whiners and complainers. You're just going to need to get past those people. It's the one unfortunate downfall about our industry. Just focus on your leaders, and just always be networking. And if it's a good fit for them, just bring them into your organization. A couple frequently asked questions that I usually get is, how do you know how much to bid, and your spending limit. When I usually start off and I'm ready to spend a good amount of money on a campaign, I like to start a minimum of $50 per day. That's not saying that you will spend that $50 per day, but when you show Bing that you're serious about getting a campaign started, then it's likely that they're going to put your campaign right into making it active, and they just want to see that you're serious. Then you can always come back and tweak it later. How much to bid? When you're getting started, it depends totally on how many competitors you have. If you see that you've got a page of 10 competitors and you still want to go after that keyword, it's likely that you're going to have to bid at least $1, $1.20 to even show up on that page. However, if you find a URL or a keyword the way that I showed you before, and it gets some traffic, but there's nobody advertising on it, you can literally spend 5 cents per click. So just look at your competitors, and that's how you can kind of base how much you should bid on. And as always, like I mentioned once before, stay positive in your marketing. Don't try and put people down or anything like that. And lastly, take action. This is just one strategy that has the potential to bring you in at least 20 to 50 leads daily once you start to scale up and you start placing more and more ads out there. So just go out and implement what you learned here, and literally, I mean, the sky is the limit. What's even better with Bing PPC, unlike, say for example, Facebook PPC is always needing to be tweaked. One of the great things about Bing PPC is it's totally automated. So it might take some time to set up in the beginning, but once it's set up, I have literally I have campaigns that have ran for over a year and a half without being touched that are extremely profitable. So it never ends. So guys, it's extremely powerful what you can do here. Get out there, take action, make things happen, and I am so excited to see your results. So John Moroz here, and I'm going to see you in our next training session. Okay, take care for now.